Hi everyone. So it's festival time again, and with the festivals, for some reason, we also buy a lot of things. And this is all very efficiently managed by retailers because they want people to buy during the festivals. There are a lot of offers out there. There could be credit card offers, direct discounts on your credit cards, no cost EMIs, and so on and so forth. However, some of those discounts or some of those offers might not be as great as they seem to be. And I found that out firsthand very recently. Okay, so this is about Dussehra time towards the end of September, and I always thought I would not buy something that I don't need. But come Flipkart with its big billion days, and I went ahead and I bought myself wait for it, it's a bike. Yes, Flipkart sells bikes on its website, and I went ahead and bought a bike. I would not have bought it if it was not for the offers that they had on display. They had some really interesting offers, really great offers, which is what I thought at that point of time. However, over time I realized maybe those offers were not what they seem to be. In this video, I talk about what you should be careful about when you go ahead and buy something because of offers. A bit of a context, I was always planning to buy a bike, but I never came to a point wherein I thought, okay, I really need a bike now, and therefore I would buy it. And therefore I always keep prolonging that buying decision. But I was going to buy a bike, to be very frank. So I'm not very pissed off about this offer not being as great as it is, because even if the offer was not there, most probably I would have bought it. Okay, now having said that, most probably I would not have bought it right now in this month or in this big billion sales. The only reason I bought it was because of that offer. Now let me tell you what that offer was, right? So first I saw this post on Facebook. This was a post by Hero Motocorp, and they were talking about selling their bikes on Flipkart during this festival season. I thought that was a great initiative because the channel is, one of the driving decisions behind a purchase, and I thought buying something as significant as a bike on a website is not a tried and tested idea, but it's not a bad idea either. So I thought let's go ahead and check out what's on offer. Great. So I go on to Flipkart, search for Hero Motocorp, and then I see, okay, wow, these bikes are there. And the bike that I was looking for, the X-Pulse, was also there. So wow, that's a great start. And then I realized, wow, it's just not the bike. There are some great offers on it as well. The two offers that I personally liked was, number one, there was a cash discount on ICICI credit cards, a cash discount of 7,500 rupees. And the second thing was a no cost EMI, of course. I have been planning to buy a bike anyways, and now there's a great cashback, 7,500 bucks, plus it's a no cost EMI. So I thought maybe there would not be a better time to buy a bike than this. And I was a little wary because I know credit card offers and all that do have their terms and conditions which come out at a later point of time and all of that. So I was a little wary about it as well. So I thought, let's record this transaction, because if anything goes sideways and they say, okay, no, this is not supposed to be that is not supposed to be there, I would still have some proof to it, right? So that's how I began the transaction. So I went ahead, I scrolled, I looked at the offers, and I could see that, okay, I was being given a 7,500 rupees off because of my ICICI credit card. And I was also being given this no cost EMI. So I scrolled down, and things were a little tricky, because after a little time down the transaction, I could see that when I selected my ICICI credit card, when I put in my details, that offer suddenly goes off. It's supposed to be 1,30,000 according to me because of the discount, right? So I go ahead, I fill in my card details, and the number now changes from 1,30,000 to 1,37,000 again. This was when I should have realized that something is not right, but I thought, let's give ICICI Bank the benefit of doubt, and when I actually come to the payment, maybe that time I'll check if that number is more than 1,30,000, and then maybe I won't go ahead with it. So yes, I go ahead and fill in the details. I go on to the next step, and now I can see that, okay, the number has gone down to 1,27,000. I'm like, okay, great. So the amount that I will be paying is not 1,37,000, it's not 1,30,000, now it is 1,27,000, which is great, right? So that's a 10,000 discount almost. And fine. So I go ahead and I say, okay, 1,27,000, great. The X showroom is 127, I get a 10,000, I go ahead and make the payment. Everything goes fine till now. The payment goes through, great, fine. the amount that is blocked on my card shows as 1,27,000, and they say after a point of time they'll convert it into a no cost EMI. So on my card, a 1,27,000 amount shows up. Everything is fine, perfect till now. So the next part of the transaction, which is when Hero Motocorp takes the order from Flipkart and then gets in touch with me and fulfills this order for me, that was perfect, smooth as butter. So I get the very next day, I get a call from Hero Motocorp, and within half an hour I get a call from my Hero Motocorp dealer as well, and they say, okay, you can come back after a couple of days and the delivery should be done along with the registration. Again, I thought this would be an exaggeration, but the dealer RT Krishna on the Hosur Road, they did a great job. Within 2 days they had the bike ready with registration, all the RTO formalities done, and they gave me the keys on the 27th, I believe. So that part was perfect. So I would not blame Hero Motocorp for any of it. Hero Motocorp did a fantabulous job of getting this order through, which is all fine, and that is when the trouble begins. Now, as soon as I get my delivery done, that's when ICICI Bank shows up this amount on my credit card bank statement as well. So on the credit card statement, it shows up as a certain amount plus interest. Now I'm like, okay, if you say that there's going to be interest and the EMI comes down to 11,000 or so, then the total amount that I'll have to pay will come to 11,000 something into 12, which will come to around 1,37,000. So what happened? Like, what happened to the no cost EMI, and what happened to that 7,500 off that I was supposed to get? Great. So I call up the ICICI customer care and try to explain to them what the problem is. Multiple calls, multiple days I had to call them, and then finally I told them, okay, maybe no, you're saying that it was a no cost EMI, but now you're saying that there is going to be an EMI and an interest part to it. So can you give me an amortization schedule? Now, if you have a loan and do not know what an amortization schedule is, maybe I'll have to do another video for it. Just think of it as how much interest, how much principal are you going to pay every month. So what is going to be an EMI for each month, and therefore what is going to be a total amount. So they do send me that amortization schedule, and when I look through that amortization schedule, I find that the amount is 1,37,000, the entire amount that I was supposed to pay in the first place. Now that pissed me off again. I call up the ICICI Bank customer care again, and they say, after a lot of dilly-dallying, after a lot of passing around, they finally say, okay sir, your card did not have that offer on it, therefore your transaction did not get that 7,500 off. I'm like, wow, why is that? Because the terms and conditions never mentioned any of that. So what made you do this? And that's when they say, okay, your card, can you tell me what your credit card begins with? Can you give me the first 4 digits? So I tell them, okay, these are the first 4 digits. And then after a lot of research, they say, okay, your card is not eligible for the offer. This is not mentioned anywhere on the Flipkart conditions, nowhere at all. There was a lot of dilly-dallying on that as well. They were saying, okay, contact Flipkart. Flipkart says contact ICICI. But finally, when they say that, no, your card is not eligible at all. Okay, and I say, why? They say that's how the offer is. There are certain cards which are allowed on the offer, some of them which are not, and your card just does not seem to be activated for that offer. I'm like, but that's the first problem, right? You say that the ICICI credit card gets you 7,500 off, but when it actually comes to getting the discount, you say maybe your card is not activated, and that is not mentioned anywhere on the website. I checked, right? And fine, so that's okay, fine. I said, okay, fine, let's forget the discount. So when I was going through the transaction, I was under the impression I'm paying only 1,27,000, but that's not the case. So what they're doing is they're taking the amount, which is 1,37,000, breaking it down into EMIs, and then saying the principal amount will be 1,27,000, and the rest, which is 10,000, would be your interest. The interest they do not show you when you're making the transaction. You will be paying an extra interest on top of it, and taken together it will become 1,37,000, which is the original amount. Why I'm making this video now? There are people this Diwali who went ahead and bought it, and they are still under the impression that they're gonna get 17,000 rupees off, and they see 1,20,000 as the amount payable, and they are under the impression that they are getting a 17,000 rupees discount, which is not the case. You're only getting 7,500, 7,000 odd discount if your credit card is activated for that offer, which you might come to know later. That's another thing altogether. But the amount that you're paying, the amount that you see on the transaction, is just the principal. The interest will come even though it's a no cost, even though they call it a no cost EMI. So yeah, so I have no regrets because I like the bike. I would have bought that bike even if that offer was not there. But there could be some people who buy the bike just because there's an offer. They're enticed by the offer to buy the bike, maybe. And if that's the case, maybe you'll have to be a little more careful about these discounts, these offers, and these EMIs out there. So yes, with that, I'll be signing off. I'll make a video about the X-Pulse maybe, because I love the bike. However, I just did not like the way I bought my bike. ICICI, Flipkart, I think you guys could do a better job explaining the terms and conditions on your website and putting it very clearly for your users, because like me, I'm never going to go back to Flipkart. I'm already an Amazon customer mostly, and the only time I go to Flipkart is when you have an exclusive like this Hero bike. So keep getting those exclusive and I might come back. And with that, I'll sign off. You be careful about your festive spendings and about your offers.